Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Okay, what do we got?
Yeah, so here, let me shameless
introduce
plug
it.
for an old colleague of ours, Big Watt Beverage Company, which is I think this is the main company, and then their coffee shops are with it as well. I don't know.
They have a few coffee shops, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to sponsor us
So
next time, right?
sponsorships.
Yeah. Hey, Lee, I'm calling you out.
Coming
The
in.
strongest
Sponsor
coffee
us.
maker in the state of
It
Minnesota.
doesn't cost any money. Just give us coffee,
Yeah.
and we'll give you a shout out.
Legit. Check him out. We can tag him, can't we?
Yeah. 5 watt.
I'm not sure what a tag is, but I'll figure it out.
Like a hashtag.
How does
Oh.
he not?
I'm kidding.
Like
He's
an
our,
at.
he's our
Dog
social
tag?
media guy, and he doesn't know what
Lee
a
something.
tag is.
We'll figure it out.
But
He's
he's
like,
cool
yeah,
because
MySpace.
yeah,
Well, I'll let you do the introduction.
I'm Mitch. No.
Yeah. So,
What's the order? Guest first? Main guest?
I think that's only polite.
Yeah, it's only polite. Well, to my right, you're viewing. I don't know what viewing angle that is. This is Kelly.
It's Kelly. Yeah, I don't know.
Kelly
Altman.
aka Kelly.
Got it.
No.
Let's just keep it at that.
So Kelly, introduce yourself for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hi. I'm excited to be here. This is fun. This is new. I am Kelly Altman. I am the owner of the Altman Fitness Gym in Edina, Minnesota, and also a health coach for women, mostly women in midlife. That's kind of my main demographic that I
What
love.
would you define as midlife?
I would say, yeah, I know,
That's a very
right?
dangerous
I know,
thing.
and I probably shouldn't have even introduced it that way. But like, I think that truly, just over the years, and especially the past couple years, I'm 47 years old. So dealing and helping women sort of in the 40s and 50s and even into the 60s, and helping just sort of through those transitions of perimenopause, menopause, when hormones are changing again, as crazy as they did back when we went through puberty in the first place, right? It's kind of messy.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of women find themselves in that space where they have to do things differently, but they don't really want to, or they don't
know how.
They don't know how. Yeah, they don't know how. They keep thinking they can do the same things they did in their 20s and 30s, and a lot of their identity might be wrapped up in either being an athlete or training the same way, and we have to listen and pay attention. And so many times these same women in their 40s and 50s, myself included, we're so busy taking care of so many other people and so many other things that we neglect kind of our own self-care, or self-care has gotten kind of a bad rap, and everyone's like, oh yeah, I know, self-care. But like, it literally is like, just take really good care of yourself, whatever that means, and through all different ways. So that's what I'm super passionate about.
Not scrolling on Instagram for 2 hours is not self-care.
Totally not.
Well, that depends. On
I'm
what
sure you have to have that
Unless you're watching
like
the
you have to have that
podcast.
conversation with
Yeah.
people. Like
I do.
Yeah, an hour on your phone
Yeah.
is not self-care.
Well, and what's really, really fascinating, and this is maybe a sidebar, but I hear we like sidebars, is recently, it's just really interesting because I think I always say, Tommy Boy's one of my favorite movies ever, right? And it's
Never
like,
heard of it.
when I always say, like, that's who I am and that's who I care about, right?
The name's Zelensky. I make car parts for the American working man because that's what I am, and that's who I care about.
I am a 47-year-old woman with 4 children running a business or 2, and I care about busy women that are also running households, also running careers and all those things. And I'm not immune to this kind of stuff, you guys. Like, I went into my doctor about a month ago and found out my thyroid's not functioning as well as it should be, right? And they wanted to put me on medication. And I looked at it and I said, okay, I believe in medicine when I don't think that I'm not already doing all of the things that I could be doing for my own health. And I looked at exactly that. When I was resting, I was scrolling on Instagram, right? And you look at things and your brain is constantly going. And so one of the things I've been doing in this season of really taking my rest and recovery a lot more seriously, because here I have numbers saying something's up, right? Of course, there's a reason why you're more lethargic and maybe anxious or having, a little bit more depression, which I've never had any of those things. But there's this part of life where it can get so overwhelming and all of a sudden things aren't working the same way. And I've had to look at, I've been using heart math, which is sort of calming to figure out if you're really connected, with your heart and your brain connected. And there's an app and a sensor that kind of measures your heart rate variability. Per se.
They're going to sponsor us next episode. Too.
Oh my gosh.
Smash
It is the coolest thing, you guys, because I've tested it out, right? Like, I live, right, I teach classes with loud music and high energy and people, and I'm connecting, and I love all of that. But when I go home, I have 4 kids that then they're talking to me. They're asking me questions. My husband's like energetic and playing fun music, and he wants to raise the vibration. My vibration's constantly up here.
Yeah.
And so it is, how do I rest? And when you think, oh, I'm laying in my bed, but I'm looking at Instagram, or I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm reading a book even, it's not truly getting me connected and calm.
And recharged.
And so I've been using this sensor in this app to kind of put me into test out, how can I sit and be connected to my breath and really truly rest and watch that data show up. And then my kids can be fighting in the other room, and it immediately changes and goes to the color that it's not supposed to be when you're connected.
Everybody a shot collar for the kids.
Yeah, but even I've tested it out by listening to guided meditations, and it stresses me out more because it's almost telling me something else to do.
Oh, that's interesting.
So do you
I have so
usually
many things
pause
to
at
do.
those points and reflect on it? Or do
I
you kind of,
do.
like, as you learn more about it, you
Yeah.
probably, like, are more aware of it, too. But that's a whole different topic, too. But
Yeah.
that's super cool.
Yeah,
just
but
to
I've
get
learned,
reconnected.
I've always been a huge, in my practice of coaching women, right? It's all about boundaries, right? We all have to have boundaries with all the things that, and have those healthy boundaries, figure out what they are. But for me, a lot of it is just saying to my kids, you have to leave me alone for 5. I lock doors. I will go and
Their
mom
fingers
has
are
to
scraping
sit.
under the door.
I mean, it's
like a horror movie.
So, what do you do then? Do you go to your car? But I think it too is about the way we're talking to our kids about it, is to say, this is really important for my health, and having them see me kind of take radical responsibility and have that awareness, because they're concerned about my health. They want me to be around for a really long time.
Because how old are your kids again?
Yeah, so they're 16, 14, 10, and 4.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you guys had.
I need to be around for a really long time.
That's
This is
super cool.
important. But you all think we don't grow out of being little kids, right?
Right.
Little kids have meltdowns. Little kids go to timeout. You don't give your kid.
We're still little kids.
Yeah, I mean, and I think for women, we feel, oh, we got so angry, we lost it, or we feel so resentful, or we have so much to do, or whatever it is, and we don't realize that what we need is to do the same thing we did to our kids, be removed from our environment. And I didn't give my kids iPads when they would go to timeout. I didn't, right? You sit in the corner and you reflect on how are you, and how can you change your state, and how can you get good at changing your state. But you're given an iPad and you just go into everybody else's world.
Yeah.
And then you start comparing, right? There's some of that. I know for me as a business owner, I look at Instagram, I look at Facebook, and it's oh, so-and-so's running this thing. Maybe I should do this. Oh, this would be a great post.
There's no
I'm
decompression.
never really
right?
relaxing.
I apologize now for Richie's activity on our Instagram, because it
What do
probably
you
makes
mean?
everyone feel bad about their Instagram presence.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like,
Because
they're-
it's so
like,
great.
They feel like
Because
they-
it's so great.
They feel like they're not doing enough.
I mean,
Wow, these guys are posting like maniacs.
Machines.
they are. They are. Well, I love it because I
Yeah.
think it gives a little comic relief.
Well,
We all
here's
need
the-
to look on the internet and laugh more.
And here's the
Yeah.
thing too, is
Yeah.
and this is why we do the podcast, is that we want to produce when you think about producing something, whether it's a class or an adjustment, it should be a gift. That's the way I think of it. Whatever we're going to put out there, it should be a gift. They should see it and be like, oh, I feel better. That's how I look at it, a gift. And I think that's just, people should just give more, and we would all feel a lot better.